I saw Disclosure Day. Maybe you've seen it. This will contain spoilers, but not what you think. I enjoyed it. It was a really fun movie. And like some of you, it was very reassuring to receive another confirmation. I have cardinals tattooed on my arms. My favorite kind of artwork that I've made throughout my whole life is of interactions with deer. You know, that kind of stare that's there. And I never really pieced all those together until I recalled about 5 years ago. There's this image that has stayed with me, or this moment, this experience that I had when I was 10 years old, and I've interpreted it in many different ways, but it wasn't until about 5 years ago when I started to have this dialogic experience with non-physical, multi-dimensional intelligence that that I had something akin to what it seems that Spielberg had, because this theme keeps coming up, of being observed, being studied, and being awakened certain capacities that I really think are in all of us. So it's not so much that I was given a skill or anything like that. It was more just there was a revelation. There was an unlocking of something when I was 10, because I felt different after that. And the experience was very much lying down on what, at least started off as my bed and then became a sort of, observation table, or whatever you call those things, being surrounded by scientists of non-human form, tall and thin, and the whole 9 yards, and them observing, studying, and knowing that I was awake but was trying to pretend to be asleep, and it being very bright. And if you look, those of you who haven't had this experience, if you look online, it's sort of like near death and coming back. There are certain themes that are there, certain patterns, and pattern is the word. So here's where my experience does not align with the movie, which is that I didn't have a physical interaction with aliens. They didn't look like the classic alien, big eyes, kind of like triangular shaped head, gray or green skin. Those sorts of things are inconsistent with my experience. Spaceships, anything concrete and physical, not so much. Because the message that I have been getting, and many of you have been getting, and other people have been getting but haven't been necessarily attributing it to something that's not of this earth, is that there is this unveiling that's taking place, this revelation that's taking place, that we are connected to the whole universe. And we're not alone. That's impossible. But in order to develop these intellectual skills, and physically the brain in the way in which it's oriented right now, the cost of that is the feeling of isolation. And many of us suffer with that feeling of being alone, misunderstood, not a part of. And there are communities that gather around that sensation, and they feel great reassurance from those communities, and there's a variety of them. The big message, the big reveal in all of this is that not only are we not alone as a species, we're not alone in the universe. That the Big Bang did come from a singularity where we were all one thing, infinitely dense in a single point, and then poof out, where we got to experience what it feels like to be an individual. We are individuals, but we are also all that is the big message. And with the Disclosure Day, the vehicle for that is empathy. Doesn't really get into the details of that, and it confuses it with this notion of mathematics being the language of the universe, which is not how I understand it. For me, and the reason why I'm going to bring it all back to all the other videos, which are around storytelling, in particular either restorative or more recently intuitive storytelling, is that empathy plus speech is storytelling. Empathy is about creating a connection with another person and then expressing that. You can feel it inwardly, but the real juice is in the interactive, the dialogic nature of that kind of connection. It's not left at my own experience of you. That's actually even a little impolite. First of all, you start with permission, to be able to share in that energy. And then you dialogue around it. You have a conversation. You share a story. And for me, that's intuitive storytelling. I am speaking a non-physical experience. Now, there are physical feelings that are associated with that, but I'm not necessarily constructing or building something in the physical space. And it's not something that I can necessarily track or measure in the physical space, like in a hospital. We are getting better at being able to look at and manifest and be able to measure electronic impulses that take place, mostly in the brain, but throughout the body, when this sort of intuitive process takes place. But I don't know. Yeah, go for it. It's not my bag. For me, it is truly grounded in an experience, and it is a beautiful experience. For me, it manifests as serenity, which is my favorite feeling. Better than bliss, better than happiness. So back to Disclosure Day again. There's this binary that was created where the Josh O'Connor, I think that's his name, character, the actor that plays that character, I can't remember the character's name, is the one that can understand the aliens through this binary language that other people hear as clicking, but he hears as something that his mind is able to translate immediately as English. Cool, not my thing. So it's more, I'm team Emily Blunt. And in that character, there is this ability to connect with other people in kind of it's a movie, so in a dramatic way, and in the details, in the content, which again is not necessarily the language of empathy. The content, the specificity of the way in which she has psychic experiences with other characters is a little further away than what I think the reality is. And if I could sit down with Steven Spielberg, I think we would be in agreement around this. That's my intuition around this, which is that it is something that can't be readily shown visually in movies, could be described in a novel sense, but for me it's always storytelling, which is that there is a deep foundational connection that one can establish very quickly through storytelling. People trust storytellers when they don't trust anybody else. You can establish that, and then you can share an experience that can come in the form of emotions, it can come in the form of a somatic experience, and it can come in the form of the content of a story. So you can actually access other people's biography, past, present, future, all of that stuff. Their connection to the all that is, their angels, their religious experience, you can actually tap into that and interact with it. That's the nature of intuitive storytelling, which the most recent videos are all focused on that. That's enough. If you really think about it, you don't need the Josh O'Connor stuff. We don't need to be doing any translating because there's no translating that needs to happen. The kind of empathy that we can share with another human being, we can share with a dog. You have. We can share with a tree. We can even share with something inanimate like a rock or a walk on the beach with water. That is the same way in which you can access these multidimensional beings that populate the universe, because the universe ultimately, and physics is catching up with this, is non-local. Local realism has been disproven, meaning that things are not objectively separate from us. When we observe something, we change it because we are a part of it. It's all one big flock of starlings. One moves, we all move. We're a part of the whole. We perceive ourselves and experience life as individuals. That's not wrong. To say that it's an illusion doesn't mean that it's not real. It's real for us. This is reality for us. Living life as an individual feels like us. We live, we are born, and then ultimately we die, and we're afraid of that because we feel alone in all the universe, and at the end of this chance at having ice cream and falling in love and winning an award and all of those things has a limited little window of time between birth and death. Whereas if you experience the universe from a Big Bang singularity point of view, there's no dying. It's everything is an expanding unity. We're all a part of that singularity. And if time, as dimensional awareness will tell us, the sequential experience of time that we have, that this happens and then this happens and that this happens, is a perception. That's one way to do time. You can also hop around. You can go backwards if you want. All of that is at our disposal, and that's where we're headed as a species, I guess, as humans, because we do it already. We just call it different things. We call it our imagination. We make stuff up. It's not real. Oh, it's real. All of that stuff is real. And you can actually practice making it more real and interacting with it. And good news, never dying. Unless you want to have that experience. You can go forward, you can go backward, you can stay in a single moment as long as you want, all of that stuff. So that's where we're at as humanity, and that's why a movie like Disclosure Day comes up, because then we can leverage all of the technology, etc., to all wake up together, and we can be done with all this nonsense of us versus them, and we need to kill you in order to save ourselves, etc. Now, all that being said, this video that you're watching right here, you're one of very few people who are going to see it. Because in spiritual traditions, there's this idea of tell no one. It's better that this happens slowly. So you who are watching this are going to get what you need to move forward with your own practice. And as much as you will try to share this video with others and say, look, this video is not going to go viral. It won't. The ones that are having the impact are meeting small groups of people, and they are giving those small groups of people what they need in order to then proceed through a process to be able to actually move us all together. It feels like it's happening quickly, and I guess maybe compared to other times, maybe it is. But it's important that it goes slowly. We're given to panic. That's an aspect of being a human being these days. Well, throughout time, we're given to panic when we encounter something new. So why does it have to be a big, bold uncovering? Let's go slow, change your life, access new capacities and practices, and if it aligns with mine, which has to do with doing it by way of storytelling, watch the other videos. Reach out to me. Tell me your experience. It's super fun, and you're not alone. Welcome.